There are these whispers in our head that fill us with mom guilt. They push us to defy all of the boundaries we've put in place. And just like that, we become burnt out and exhausted, all because we listened to a lie.
Do you miss having time for Jesus and yourself, but you're drowning in the responsibilities of motherhood? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Cheryl, wife, girl mom, and Jesus lover. I learned the not-so-secret ways to become the mom my girls needed by prioritizing Jesus back into mom life. If you're ready to build faith while washing dishes, rediscover your identity, and love yourself like your babies do, go grab your earbuds and lock that bathroom door for a minute alone. It's time for Mom.
Shortly after my husband and I got married, about a year or so, we offered to take my nieces and nephew for an entire month. And they were pretty little, and it was amazing. We went fishing and hiking, and we played in the river. It was so much fun. My husband worked a lot at that time, so it was mainly just my nieces, my nephew, and I. And there was one place that we really liked to go. It's called the mouth because there's a mouth of a creek that enters into the river. There's gravel and fish and sand, and it's super fun. And the kids were in a place where I thought they were safe. And all of a sudden, they were yelling for help because the sandbar had literally changed overnight, and what had been solid ground was a sudden drop off. And they were little. They could swim, but they couldn't swim that well. And you know what? Neither could I. I'm one of those body types that sinks like a rock. I am terrified of swimming in water because I cannot float. Naturally, I plunged in after them. 2 out of the 3 were in the water and yelling for help. The first had gone in and gotten sucked into the current. The second one had plunged in to help their sibling, and then I went in to get them. And I couldn't swim back to shore. I tried to shove these children back to the shore, only to have them cast back into my face by the current. My husband had been giving me some lessons of what to do because he was raised around a very strong river and was raised swimming. He was also raised with snakes. Thankfully, there weren't any snakes in this water. But I remembered his words of when you cannot fight the current, you have to swim with it because that's the only way you're going to get out of it. So I turned around. Both of the kids were on my back. I also remember him saying that if you can't keep your head above water, you're going to have to go under it. Swim as long as you can and then come back up. And that is exactly what I did. I swam. My head was underwater. I swam as far as I could and I came back up for air and I went back down and I repeated that until my feet hit the ground. We waded back to shore. Both kids were still on me because the water was too deep for them. And then it wasn't. And we all collapsed in the water. I coughed and choked and gagged up so much river water. My legs were so weak I couldn't stand. Their older sister was the only one who hadn't gone into the water. She made her way around where it was safe. Praise God she didn't go into the water. I don't know if I could have carried all 3. And once we recovered, we got in the car, we went home, and I wept in my husband's arms because we had been so close to dying. Why do I tell you this? I was out of my element. I'm a land person. I'm not a water person. My body was not made for water. The circumstances had changed overnight. What had once been safe and manageable suddenly wasn't. And I wasn't responsible with just saving my own life. I was responsible for the lives of others. But how does this relate to motherhood? A few years ago, my husband got really sick and he was in a wheelchair. We had a 3-year-old and a newborn and a husband who couldn't help, even though he really wanted to. My milk didn't come in, so we almost lost my daughter because she was so dehydrated, she had fundus. Thankfully, we caught it in time and we were able to get some donor milk. I felt like a complete failure because I couldn't take care of everybody. I couldn't produce the milk that my daughter needed. And I remember just sinking into that bathroom floor and crying. It wasn't the bathroom. I was in the girls' room, their bedroom, and it was bedtime. And I remember sinking to their floor and just crying. And my 3-year-old did not understand what was going on. My newborn wasn't exactly happy that her needs weren't being met exactly how she wanted them to be. Our circumstances had changed so much, and I felt like I was drowning. Like I was gasping for air. I would go as far as I could, and then I would just melt down because I couldn't do it. But you know what? I wasn't made to do that alone. And I know that now. I am designed to be able to care for people. That's part of how God wired me. But I wasn't designed to do it alone. I had to do a few things. I had to make a few changes, and that's what today's podcast is about. Number one, I had to stop comparing myself. I will never be enough, and neither will you if you listen to the comparisons. You are you. I am me. I am not a mommy blogger. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'm not a Pinterest mom with a child psychology degree helping save the world with potty training hacks. That's not who I am. I have used those, but that's not me. You're not a Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok filtered mom. You're the daughter of a king. You have been entrusted with your kids, and your kids have been entrusted to you. God knit them together in their mother's womb. You are their mother. God made your children for you because He knew you are what they needed. You were what your children needed, that you needed your children, but your children were made in you, for you, because you were what they needed to grow. Number two, ask and accept help. All right, this is super hard for me because I like to apparently control everything. It's honesty here, all right? You can't do it all. I can't do it all. And do you know what? That is okay. To be a successful mom, your kids need to be alive, breathing, reasonably happy at times. They don't even have to be happy all the time. That's all it means to be a successful mother. Living, breathing kids who are reasonably happy some of the time. And guess what? You are an amazing mom and you're succeeding at this whole mom thing because you are a mom and your kids love you so much. They may not tell you all the time, but they do. And it is so okay to loosen up your control and ask for help. Ask for help with housework, help with parenting, help with regaining your sanity that you slowly lose the instant your kids pop out. Accept help creating space to connect with your husband who has likely been lost in the mouths of laundry and crying children and diapers and breastfeeding. You need help. One of the things that may help you is to swap cleaning days with friends. And I don't mean ask your friend to clean your house. I mean, go over to your house, to the house of a mom friend who has kids and have the kids play together. If they're old enough, have them help and clean each other's houses together. This isn't just helping each other, it's also building relationships. Another thing you can do is to ask family and trusted friends to watch your kids, or in my case, accept those offers because I have a hard time doing that. Another thing you could do is you could ask your husband to watch your kids. Crazy, I know, right? But he is capable. He's not going to do things like you do, but he is so capable. Just let him do things his way. Your kids are going to be alive and breathing and reasonably happy and likely dirty and loving it by the time you come back. But you know what? Your husband can do it. It's okay. So ask for help and accept the help. You can do that. It's okay. Number three, give yourself some grace. Give yourself the grace you give to your kids, or at least the grace you think you should be giving to your kids. You are learning to be a mom. Every day with every kid is new territory. They're constantly changing. Everything is a first. Do you get angry with your kids when they start scribbling on paper with crayons or doing the circles? No. You praise their effort because they're learning. You're watching their brains develop. You're watching them become a capable little person who's going to draw stick figures and, in the case of my daughter, really creepy spiders with about 180 legs, which I'm thankful are just a product of her imagination. but you're going to praise them for their efforts. Mama, you are new at this. Every day is new. Every child is new. Every child is different, and they're constantly changing. Give yourself some grace. You are doing really hard things. And you know what? You're doing a good job at it because you're doing it. You don't have to be perfect to be doing a good job. God doesn't ask us for perfection. He just asks us for obedience. He asks us to try. And if you're trying, you're succeeding. Number 4, ask for encouragement. This is mainly going to be for women who need words of encouragement, like me. I'm a words of encouragement gal. It's one of my primary love languages. And sometimes you just need somebody to wrap you in a hug, unless you're not a toucher, and tell you that you're doing a good job. When you have been screamed at all day long for not doing things to a tiny dictator's satisfaction, it's okay to go up to your husband and ask him for some encouragement. My husband is happy to encourage me, but I often need to ask for it because he's not going to see things the same way I am. Do you remember in Matthew 7 where God is like, who of you gives your child bad gifts? If your child asks for a fish, are you going to give him a stone? That may have been the bread. If you ask for encouragement, your friends and family aren't going to be like, why would I encourage you? You're doing a horrible job with those kids. No, because they love you. They're going to give you encouragement because they know how hard this mom gig is. It's exhausting. So ask for encouragement. Number 5, remember your husband. It is not good for a man to be alone. Genesis 2:18. Well, guess what, Mama? It is not good for a woman to be alone either. I need my husband. He's my best friend. But it is so easy to give all of my attention to that squeaky little wheel and forget all about the man that I vowed to spend my life with. And he's waiting for me to remember him. I am one side of a triangle. There's God, my husband, and me, and I keep removing myself from it, and I cannot stand alone. I wasn't designed to be a mother by myself. Neither were you. Your husband was not designed to be a father by himself. You need each other, and you both need God. Remember your husband. It is so critical to stay connected with him, because if you don't, it's going to get harder and harder because that gap is going to keep widening as you both continue to change. Change is inevitable, and you need to remember your husband so that you both change together. So you don't wake up and find that you no longer know your best friend. It is vital to stay connected to your husband. So please remember him, not for your benefit alone, but also for the benefit of your children. When you are trying to mother alone, your kids will know it. There is a difference in your attitude and how you handle things. You're also modeling what marriage and parenting should be like for your children when they find a spouse, when they find a loved one. What example do you want your kids to have? Do you want them to have a solo parenting example where you ignore each other and you all do things? Or, do you want them to witness the meltdowns, but also the coming alongside each other of once you do meltdown? Sometimes the meltdown is what's needed to ask for help. Sometimes the meltdown is the reset that you need. And it's okay to let your kids see that, because you're going to show them how to handle things, how to work through those meltdowns. It's important to admit your flaws to your kids. It's important to show them how much their spouse should mean to them in the midst of parenting. So please remember your husband, because it's not good for man to be alone, and it's not good for the woman either. So as you go through your week, please pick one of these 5 things that spoke to you the most. Just one. Don't try all 5. Just try one and apply it every day to your week.
Hey beautiful, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share this with a mom who is wading through those mounds of laundry and dishes and wishing for just a little me time? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. Your review helps other moms find the show, and it makes my day to know this podcast has helped you. Well, it's time for me to wash more dishes and cook more food. I'll meet you next Wednesday for another episode. Until then, may the God of peace fill you with his grace.